Hello students, welcome to our second video of class 8 history or part 3, chapter 1, how, when and where. In our last discussion, we have discussed about the importance of dates and which dates. Today, we are going to discuss periodization of history and what is colonial. History is a vast subject that cannot be studied at once. So for the sake of convenience, history is divided into periods. Periodization is the process or study of categorizing the past into discrete, quantified, named blocks of time. This is usually done in order to facilitate the study and analysis of history, understanding current and historical processes and causality that might have linked those events. We do so in an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time, its central features as they appear to us. So the terms through which we periodize, that is, demarcate the difference between periods, become important. They reflect our ideas about the past. They show how we see the significance of the change from one period to the next. Let us start with a famous division of Indian history which was done by James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher. He published a massive 3-volume book, A History of British India, where he divided Indian history into 3 periods: Hindu, Muslim and British period. This division came to be widely accepted. ये डिवीजन लोगों ने काफी हद तक एक्सेप्ट किया, लेकिन अगर आप ध्यान से सोचें तो इसमें कई सारी खामियां भी हैं। जेम्स मिल ने धर्म के आधार पर पीरियडाइज किया था। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हिंदू पीरियड जब हिंदू रूलर्स रूल करते थे, मुस्लिम पीरियड जब मुस्लिम रूलर्स रूल कर रहे थे इंडिया को, और ब्रिटिश पीरियड जब ब्रिटिशर्स रूल कर रहे थे। Mills thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. According to his telling of history, before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim despots ruled the country. Religious intolerance, caste taboos, and superstitious practices dominated social life. British rule, Mill felt, could civilize India. To do this, it was necessary to introduce European manners, arts, institutions and laws in India. Mill, in fact, suggested that the British should conquer all the territories in India to ensure the enlightenment and happiness of the Indian people, for India was not capable of progress without British help. हालांकि इस बात में कुछ सच्चाइयां भी थी। लोग उस समय धर्म के नाम पर लड़ रहे थे। लोग यहाँ जाति के आधार पे बटे हुए थे, अंधविश्वास को भी फॉलो करते थे, जैसे सती प्रथा। लेकिन ये सिक्के का एक पहलू था। अगर हम ध्यान दें तो हमें पता चलेगा कि जब अकबर हिंदुस्तान के बादशाह हुआ करते थे तो उनके कई सारे मिनिस्टर्स हिंदू हुआ करते थे, जैसे तोदरमल हों या बीरबल हों। उसके अलावा भी अगर हम एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री की बात करें तो कई सारे फेथ्स एग्जिस्ट कर रहे थे उस समय भी। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अशोका was initially a Hindu ruler, transformed himself and turned into a Buddhist. So, why should we characterize an age only through the religion of the rulers of the time? To do so is to suggest that the lives and practices of the others do not really matter. We should also remember that even rulers in ancient India did not all share the same faith. कुछ और हिस्टोरियंस भी थे जिन्हें जेम्स मिल का डिवीजन नहीं पसंद आया। उन्होंने इंडियन हिस्ट्री को एंशिएंट, मिडिवल और मॉडर्न पीरियड में डिवाइड किया। Let us understand the reason behind this division is to present the transition from ancient and medieval to modern, wherein how society developed and moved towards growth like science, reason, democracy, liberty and equality. But this division too has its problems. पहला, हमने इसे वेस्ट से बोरो किया है। दूसरा, वेस्टर्न नेशंस में चीजें हमसे काफी उलट थी। It is a periodization that is borrowed from the West, where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity, like science, democracy, liberty, equality, etc. But under British rule, people did not have equality, freedom or liberty, nor was the period one of economic growth and progress. Therefore, many Indian historians refer to this period as colonial period, not modern period. So historians in India, they further divide Indian history into ancient period, medieval period and colonial period. Now what is colonial? The subjugation of one country by another leading to political, economic, social and cultural changes in the former. The whole process is referred to as colonization. Let us understand. It means establishment of a colony in one territory by a political power from another territory. So the moment Britain took over India, it became a British colony. The class 8 book is about the way the British came to conquer the country and establish their rule, subjugating local Nawabs and Rajas. You will see how they established control over the economy and society, collected revenue to meet all their expenses, bought the goods they wanted at low prices, produced crops they needed for export, and you will understand the changes that came about as a consequence. You will also come to know about the changes British rule brought about in values and taste, customs and practices. Let us rewind what we have learned. Periodization refers to the process of categorizing or dividing history into various time periods. Historians have periodized Indian history in different ways. Some as Hindu, Muslim and British, some as ancient, medieval and modern, and Indian historians as ancient, medieval and colonial period. Colonization is the subjugation of one country by another, leading to political, economic, social and cultural changes in the former. So let us see what you have grasped today. Here's question number 1 for you. James Mill was an economist, and your options are A. American, B. French, C. Indian or D. Scottish, and your correct answer is B. Scottish. Your next question is, James Mill published a massive 3-volume work known as A History of British India in the year, and your options are A. 1947, B. 1857, C. 1817 or D. 1757, and your correct answer is C. 1817. Your next question is, many historians refer to British period in India as dash period, and your options are A. colonial, B. modern, C. ancient or D. medieval, and the correct answer is A. colonial. So it's practice time now. So here are some home tasks for you. The first question is, Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than. The options are A. America, B. Europe, C. Australia or D. India. And your next question is, with what did the British historians associate the modern period? Question number 2 is, what evil practices according to James Mill dominated the Indian social life before the British came to India? Third, what do you mean by the term colonization? In our next video, we'll be discussing about the sources of history. Till then, take care of yourself, stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you.